Hey, my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I've got some interesting insights into how much rents have actually gone up. Look, we all know it's around 8%. That's not going to shock you, but I've got some more detailed data here. And there is one area where rents have gone up by 30%. 30% in a year. And there's other multiple areas that have gone up by as much as 15%. There are 71 places where rents have gone up by at least 10%, which is absolutely insane. This just shows the stark reality of the rental crisis. And I think it's important to really understand this data, whether you're a tenant or whether you're a landlord, because I predict that things are going to get much, much worse in 2025. So before we jump into this, if you're new around here, if you want to stay abreast of all the property news at the moment, then do subscribe to the channel over there and hit the bell notification. We're on the way to 33,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. More than 20,000 of those came just this year. And let's smash like, tickle like, do something to that like button. This data is important, this content's important, and smashing that like button will help more people be aware of this. YouTube will push it then to more people. So thanks to everyone that does that. So, first off, why is this happening? Well, there's a few reasons. Lots of landlords are quitting at the moment. In the last 5 years, it's around 30% of landlords have already left the market. Of those that are left, with Rightmove surveys and Zoopla surveys recently, as many as 50% are considering to leave the market because of things like the Renters' Rights Bill, which they're not particularly happy about. It's mostly the Section 21 part, the no-fault evictions, which worries landlords if a tenant doesn't pay the rent that they can't get the property back. You've got the energy performance certificates. Those are worrying landlords that you're going to have to pay £10,000 to try and improve the energy efficiency when you're making razor-thin margins. You've got high interest rates that were going down, that's kind of slowed down significantly now. We're going to see rate cuts next year, but maybe not as many as we were expecting. So that means profits are squeezed on that. You've got something called Section 24, which means that landlords pay tax on the gross rent, which nearly every business doesn't. So there's tons of reasons that landlords are leaving. And when I do videos like this and I talk about the impact that this has, a lot of tenants might watch and say, good, get rid of the landlords. We don't like landlords. But this is the consequence. If you get rid of landlords out of the market or you reduce the amount of landlords, yes, those properties often maybe went and got sold to someone to live in. So that's good. That's one less renter. But the renters, the amount of people that need or want to rent at the moment is rising at a really, really fast rate. We've got record immigration. We've also got people that are separating and needing two houses in that scenario. We've got people that are living longer and people that just want the flexibility to be able to move around the country and live where they want. And so bashing the landlords, that's fine. That's your prerogative if you want that to happen. But if we look at this logically, less landlords means higher rents. That's not what tenants want at all. But not only that, we've had videos where we've talked about the rental market, the shrinking of the rental market. And what also could happen is even if the rents got capped, there are some places already that one property can get as many as 200 applicants. So you could have the perfect credit rating, the best job, the most stable job, easily afford the property, but it's like being a needle in a haystack. It's very hard to stand out in that scenario. So that's the background, what's going on. Let's talk about what is happening with rent. So on a nationwide basis, the rents are up 8.7%. We already know that. We've covered that on the channel previously. So that's high. So London, let's look at London. So London is higher than that, as often happens. London rents are up on average 10.4%. Wages aren't keeping up with that. So affordability is really struggling. We've just had inflation for 2 years. Yes, that is dropping, but it's not dropping fast enough, and it has had a little kick up again recently. So it means it's getting tougher and tougher and tougher for people. Yorkshire is the most affordable place, but again, in Yorkshire, prices are still up more than inflation, 5.8%. That's a big increase. And 71 areas, 71 across the UK, different council zones, have had an increase of more than 10%. I'm not going to list all of those now because that will take forever to go through. I don't have enough space on my whiteboard. And you know I only like to write on this little corner here, right? Those of you that watch here for a long time. So where else is high? Folkestone in the southeast. So in Folkestone, that's where you get ferries to France from, I think, isn't it? One of the places. 15.8%. 15.8% increase. That's insane. Now, that area probably does have quite a lot of immigration. It's not, I don't think, too far from Hastings. Hastings has a lot of immigration and rents are going through the roof in that area. So Folkestone, that's a crazy price. Another place that's had a huge increase is somewhere called Bedworth, which is in the West Midlands. So if I'm honest, I don't know why that particular area has gone up. Maybe in the comments, you could let me know what's happening in Bedworth. Why is the rent going up so much in that area? But it's up 16.2%. 16.2%. That's an astronomical increase. And this is different to some inflation, like petrol, for example. Petrol goes up, petrol goes down. It's up and down all the time. It has been for years. But rent, once your rent goes up, doesn't really come back down, does it? It sticks at that new higher price. That's the new level for that. So this will impact people for a long, long time. But where's the worst place? Because I said one of them is more than 30%, and that's Brent in London. Brent has gone up 30.1% in a year. That is insane. And that is really, really making that area totally unaffordable. So as a tenant, it's important that you build a relationship with your landlord. And as a landlord, it's important that you're fair to your tenants. Some of my properties, I haven't increased even 1% this year. Some of them, if they were vacant, then I would put it back to the market price. But if I've got an existing tenant and we've got a good relationship, then we will keep the rent as affordable as we can, because it's important that we look after our tenants. It's also better for me to not have all the fees of having like an empty property, getting it on Rightmove, paying these estate agent fees to find me a new tenant. And this stuff's really, really important. So this is something that we need to really keep an eye on, because as a country, this is not affordable. This can't carry on at this level. And so I just feel that bashing the landlords and making more of them leave is going to make this worse. It's going to mean there's going to be even less properties. We know we're going to need more people that are going to want to rent in 2025. And so if this still happens, nothing will be solved. And I just think that we should have some schemes that encourage people. It doesn't mean if you're a landlord that you're taking a home from somebody. There are areas of the UK, for example, Doncaster. I could walk around Doncaster and find you 20 empty houses in an hour. Landlords take on those properties. Have some schemes and incentives for someone to take on an empty property, renovate it at their cost, at their risk. But don't bash them then. Give them some sort of like discount on tax or something like that, or incentive or grant or scheme to turn that property back into a rental, bring up that area, and that's good for everybody. If someone wants to buy that house to live in, they also have that option, but they're not. They're leaving those houses empty. Anyway, rents, they're out of control. I think it's definitely something we've got to keep an eye on. I'll do more videos as more content comes out on this. Do make sure you like this video. Share the video maybe with somebody. Comment below. Every video I reply to all the comments. And do check out all the other content on my channel including this video right here.